I want to take this opportunity to ask you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Waningu. My name is Mbale Masishe. I am the coordinating officer for education service delivery in Mbale district, popularly known as the district education officer.
Come on! Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next.
I am the Reverend Dr. Stephen Mungoma. People introduced by Mungoma Stephen. No, I am Stephen Mungoma.
I like it.
The thing is, we were British trained. You see, the British, you don't begin with the surname. You begin with the so-called Christian name. But anyway, we call it given name and the surname. But sure, it is Stephen Mungoma, and I am the principal of Uganda Christian University here, Mbale University College.
Excellent, excellent. I want to start with you, sir.
Okay.
Kindly, just in a brief, I know education is really keep time. Kindly just share with us the schools you went through. If you are able to do it in 1 minute or less, we'll be grateful.
Okay. In 1 minute, I went into Masche Primary School, and then from there, Mbale Junior, and then Mbale High School, and from there, Makerere University. Makerere University, I went to Pasadena Fuller Theological Seminary, and several other schools, but briefly, those are the schools I went to.
Excellent, excellent. I want to ask another question. From your experience being a reverend and a senior principal of education in this region of the world, basically, many people have gone through or passed through your hands. You've nurtured many people. They look at you from different angles. Some role model, some they look at you as a mentor. What is your advice? I mean, what is your word in education?
My word in education, really, for now, a couple of, I think the RDC was telling us, is that we need to look at education not as an end in itself, but it is a means, the tool. You see, the problem is that many of us, we go to school, I get a degree in order to get a job, those are means and goals. We call them means goals. In other words, those are just means, but the real end is something to do with life. Wow. You need to know what is the art of living, so that you really know, why am I doing that? Why do I even want money?
Yes.
It's because I want to be happy, or maybe because I want to be content, or because my aim, like my sister says, is to help other people.
Yes.
So look at the end goals first.
Yes.
So I always tell people, please, what is it that you want? Number of students come to me and they say, we want, I said, okay. I said, what do you want? Can you tell me what course I should take? Say, no. What do you want?
Yes.
What do you want in the life? What is it?
That's excellent. I like what you say.
Once you begin then it is easy now to know if that's what you are aiming at, this is the way to get what you are aiming at.
Yes, maybe just to recap from what you've said, you said education is the art of life.
You have to have the art of living.
Yes.
You have to learn the art of living.
Yes.
And education is to help you learn the art of living.
The intention of education is to help one do what?
To learn
the art of living. That one is a quote from Dr. Stephen Mungoma. If you ever make a quote in your life, that is a quote. I'm saying it as an elite, as an inspirational speaker. I get the point. You have to know that you're not just going to take education as education, but it's something that should help your life. Right. Let's just quickly come to the district officer here from Mbale. Kindly me, what is your education background? Anyway, what is your general background before education background?
Quite an interesting coincidence. I went to Master Primary School, like
As a famous school.
yeah, and no regrets about it. It is quite a rural school. I went to Mungoma Senior Secondary School. I went to Mbale, I went to Toro College, and finally I went to Makerere University, and eventually Uganda Management Institute for my master's degree. I chanced to have also done a few courses. I went to Netherlands and did a course in CBET. And
excellent. So, why do you think mentorship is important?
Quite interesting that many times when we get into normal life, and especially in education, we get pathways that divide our interests, that divide our journey along through life.
Yes.
And it takes one to take important decisions on which path to take for a living, as Dr. has said.
Yes.
Sometimes those decisions come difficult for you to take.
Yes.
And as a result, you need somebody to guide you. You need somebody to hold you the arm and take you where you want to go.
Yes.
Not to decide for you, but actually to give you the necessary support.
Yes.
Mentoring is about using your expertise, using your key experiences to enrich somebody's decision in deciding what he or she wants to be and how he wants to get there.
Yes.
I perceive it that way and I get into it in that manner.
Amen. Amen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for this music. Well, just a question to you. Do you have some people you have mentored yourself?
Interestingly, in the mentoring, unlike my sister Sarah in entrepreneurship,
in
education, you're touching somebody's soul.
Wow.
Without yourself knowing that you have actually gotten someone where they want.
Yes.
But I was shocked that in a couple of months ago, a couple of people had come to me, but most importantly, one comes to me and says, you know what? I am who I am because actually you're the reason.
Wow.
And I can confirm that I have mentored some people. Wow. But I could sense it because in mentorship, you find people in challenges, amidst challenges.
Yes.
And if you get someone out of this challenge with your support, through empathy, you can easily detect that you're mentoring someone.
Yes.
I want to invite fellow Ugandans to look at this, although it may not be a perfect explanation of mentorship. There are quite a number of people who want to speak using gestures like Our Excellency the President.
Yes.
I'm sure the President, when he does his gestures, he does not necessarily want people to follow it.
Yes.
But when you look at someone speaking, you can tell that this one has followed up the traits of the President.
Yes.
And I'm happy to say that many times while doing my work, I can see people doing work the way I do it.
Yes.
And that tells me that I've mentored them. It is
wow, amazing. I love that. I want to go back to the to Dr. Mungoma Stephen, and this is your question.
Okay.
Which level of education do you think is a right for somebody to excel in life? Is it a diploma? Is it a basic? Or is it a PhD?
I'm going to shock everybody. It has nothing to do with the level of education. Success has nothing to do with your level of education. Let me give you what my definition of education is. Education to me, or rather, an educated person is somebody who uses the faculties of his or her mind to get what he or she wants without violating the rights of others. And that has nothing to do with the level of education. So if one is able to do that at whatever level, whether it's primary 7, secondary, whether he has got a certificate or diploma or degree or PhD, to me, that is the level where he succeeds. If he's able to use the faculties of his or her mind to get what he or she wants without violating the rights of others.
Come on, somebody, let's give him a loud praise.
And so you can succeed at every and any level. There are some of us who have got PhDs who have succeeded in as far as academic excellence perhaps is concerned. There are others who have succeeded at masters, others at diplomas, others at certificates. But it all depends on what you call success. What is it that you are aiming at? And that's why I began by saying, what do you want? Once you know what you want, then use the faculties of your mind at whatever level you will succeed. So please, that person who said I'm a nobody, my God, I'm so sorry. You are somebody.
Just to come, thank you for that, and let's clap for him. Let's not forget to come back to you, sir. You are Mike Nangos, isn't it?
Yeah,
you are a government officer. District officer, you have many juniors under you who are doing supervision in the divisions and up to down to the village level. And you have schools all over. You monitor to university level to any kind of academic institution. What type of schools do you think offer better education between private schools and public schools?
Quite a tempting question.
Let's talk to your shop.
Yes, indeed, I can see it. The one thing that I must make
put an disclaimer on is that I supervise all educational institutions.
Yes.
And my personal opinion, not the official opinion, is that the government, the basic educational institutions, do it the better way, for the right person, for the right citizen, for the right growth.
Just a minute before you go on, and sorry for that. Why do you think the government institution offers the right education?
Education, Dr. Stephen has said, is about you manipulating the faculties to get yourself where you want to be.
Yes.
And he didn't talk about one faculty. He
Yes.
talked about faculties.
Yes.
Meaning that there are quite a number of things and values that we must acquire when we take an education. It's not about passing exams in whatever grade.
Yes.
It's about ability to enhance all the faculties for the purpose of living. We have young people who are doing quite well in academics. There are those doing quite well in sports.
Yes.
There are those doing quite well in arts. It does not matter for which this young person hits best.
Yes.
What matters is how he uses that to get his best. And to us, those who belong in my category of thinking, is that children must be exposed to the right fields of education,
Yes.
both curricular and co-curricular. That's quite missing in private schools, because the private schools turn out to be enterprises. It's profit and it's money. Profit or money means you must put up a name that is unique against the other.
Wow.
And so you attract the best buyers of your service.
Wow.
In government, it's not about buying a service.
Yes.
It's about dispensing the values that are desired for some personal growth.
Quite good. Both of you, you are top managements and the top leaders of the institutions, maybe the region, and even in the country. I want to ask you this. Some people with very poor education background comes up, then builds up poor education background as maybe S1 or S2 or even P1 or P2 with a very poor background. You've seen these people. They come up and they make up an empire of business. They make up an empire of business with no academic backgrounds. And one morning, it happens that you are inviting them at a university to give a keynote speech. Why? And yet they're supposed to pass through certain protocols to qualify to stand before, the educated people. What do you think? Is that not an abuse of your education system? This guy is unlearned, doesn't have paper to qualify them to stand before his room. And yet you're welcoming them. Eminent guests are seated, and then you're telling them to give a keynote speech. Is it not an abuse of office or of education?
That reminds me of what was said of Henry Ford. There was a newspaper writer who wrote about Henry Ford and said he was unlearned. And so Henry Ford took the newspaper to court for libel. Where's the evidence? So the guy was asking him all kinds of questions. How many soldiers British sent to America to fight, and how many this and that. And then Henry Ford said, look, don't need to bother my mind with all those trivia. I have a business to run. Mine is to make cars. And if I want any information concerning those, I have in my office buttons. I press one, somebody will give me the answer. I press another, somebody will give me the answer. So why should I clutter my mind with all that? So, if I invite this magnate or this guy who is fantastic, he succeeded. And I told you the art of living. So if I invite him to the university to give an address to my graduating students, I want them to pick something from him, because he is not unlearned. He may not have gone through formal school, but he is educated. That's right. He has got an education. That's why he's educated. And that's why I would invite him, because I want my students to learn the art of living. And that man has demonstrated he knows what it means to live, and he can guide my students.
Wow, excellent, excellent. Let's have our education mentor here.
I just quickly wanted to say something that is quite experiential, and it's real.
Yes.
I am not very sure whether the person I'm going to speak about is around, but this is a life story.
Yes.
The phenomenon of the teacher today not believing in himself economically is quite rampant.
Yes.
Teachers have underrated themselves, and I pray that the person who said I'm a nobody wasn't a teacher in this congregation.
Yes.
Because that is the kind of thing that comes up in our mind frequent times. But in the various ways of thinking with my colleagues at office, we thought that we would mobilize the teachers to come up with a circle, which circle will salvage them from the chronic indebtedness.
Wow.
And the one thing that I was sharing with my colleagues was that arising from the circle that we create, we would venture to create a supermarket in town, and that supermarket should be titled Waningu Supermarket. To require every teacher who comes to get his salary, whenever he is also going, Along with him goes with a paper bag labeled Waningu Circle, but the stuff that he has bought is actually for their own supermarket.
Come on, allow an entrepreneur mentor. Education is here.
Now, as a coordinator of education services at that level with paper qualifications, whatever it is, it's not critical. I visited, ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman who owns Abra Supermarket. Abra Supermarket is a supermarket popular in town here.
Yes.
It's actually owned by a young man. I suppose, without confirming, that he may not be as educated as I am.
Yes.
But his story for a supermarket is worth emulating.
Wow.
I had to go that low to go and pick that skill for establishing a supermarket, because that is our agenda.
I like that.
If somebody thought inviting someone who has succeeded in a vocation to speak to people, to inspire them to achieve, is an anomaly, then that anomaly is with the one who is seeing it, not the one coming to talk.
Let's clap for that. Thank you. That's great.
I want to believe that there's every reason why we should have those success stories speak to our people.
Wow.
I think this is a common knowledge recently. I do not remember when the Microsoft fella dropped out of Harvard University.
Yes.
Neither do I remember when Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard University.
Yes.
Their story is worth listening to.
Yeah.
But recently, they were invited for a graduation. But they confirmed, even at the graduation, this gentleman confirmed that I am the only graduate going to get a degree after dropping out of university. So what is it about? Speaking English or speaking the other language?
Yes.
What is critical are actual ideas that can lead you to your success and your life goals.
Wow. Thank you. Let's clap for the education mentor. One more question, and one more question will be taken up quickly before we pray. Now, somebody, the same question but on a different angle also. This guy is a college dropout. Let me say his level of education is very low. How do you as an institution, and this question is special, is to you and you as an educationalist, not just an educationalist, because I love your smart brains. I'm seeing an enterprising mind, and how quick the Waningu supermarket could really spread around the country. Yes, so when you do marketing, you will see me. Long story short, I just want to say, how do you make such a fella authentic in terms of papers? This guy is not ready to come back to school. It's a benefit not just to the institution or to the region, to the whole world. I mean, you are proud as a region saying, I'm proud of Abra Supermarket, I'm proud of Zuka. And yet when you just be proud, he has built an empire, he doesn't want to come back. Whether it falls after 50 years or 40, he's made history in his generation, at least in a decade. I'm looking at how do you make this man or a woman who never went to school and yet is not authentic? What do you think Harvard University says this person they don't know the speech he'll give, but when he says, I'm the only dropout who came up with a degree, does it not annul or nullify their statement of honoring him, or crowning him? Not even crowning him, inviting him to. I said, people will say, look at this guy. He's a dropout, he's speaking to us. We have sacrificed, paid fees. Do they want fame? Do they want name? Has he paid them to But be of the same question. How do we make that guy authentic? Do we bring him back to class to make him learn? And if he's not ready, what do we do? Because people will begin dropping out of school, saying he can drop and still come back and start business and be given degrees. There's a problem. Is there a solution for that?
The one thing that came out clear in the address of Microsoft was I dropped out of school because I was bored. The life of our education system sometimes are boring to very intelligent people.
Okay.
And the fact that someone has started a business and has succeeded is actually enough evidence that he's actually intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
What I told you I went to study in Netherlands was what I call CIDET. CIDET is competence-based education and training.
Yes.
To recognize a person who has not attained formal education just requires you to recognize his competencies. Mm-hmm. Many authors author about ideas or concepts in many of these practices from a theoretical point of view. I just want to say that all the authors of people's backgrounds are called biographies. It's not that they're the ones who write. They actually own the ideas, but the people specialists who put the order of events are different. It is incumbent upon institutions, upon universities to recognize and actually give honors to the Abrahams of this world, because from nothing he has constructed a concept.
Wow.
He may not put it in English, but it's in practical terms. So what we need is just someone who can put it in English, put it on paper in a textbook, and that becomes the author of that concept. Establishment of supermarkets in a rural town in Uganda.
Yes.
And that will be something academic. Recognizing this is based on competencies. It should not be based on what one can write, what one can read, and what English one can speak. It's actually what one can do.
Excellent answer, excellent answer. And before you pass on to the principal down there, what you're saying is putting it down, his competence, his successes, people will learn from his lessons.
Absolutely.
Makes it authentic.
Yeah.
Do you think when you present the same papers to another institution, they will be able to accept it in terms of transcripts or in terms of what? Will it be acceptable? Because this is just Mbale. And what about if it falls the next day?
The beauty about networking, if I listen to
Madam Sarah,
yes, is that you get exposure. Expression of ideas is just a language, it's a communication strategy. And I want to tell you, everybody, whether you are going to school or not, you can express yourself in another language.
Yes.
To test this, you just need to look at your maid, who is all the time with your children who speak English.
Yes.
And within a couple of months, the maid is speaking English. And so, authentic detailing of the practices of this success story just requires this person to be exposed.
Yes.
And I want to say that Dr. Waningu, you expose such a person, will be able to communicate his ideas. And sooner than later, he will be an author of very important ideas. And to us, that will make sense in the real life.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a very good one. To you, sir. At least 1 minute.
Very quickly, let me just say this, that we are at a crossroad. In the next 30 years, our so-called education is not going to be. Things are changing fast. And so the idea of going to a school and have transcript and so forth, that may not even be there. Why? Because right now, almost, we are now coming to a point where everything will be here. I can be able to access everything online. And right now, Google people, you are talking of Facebook men, they are working out a program whereby everybody can access every information from anywhere in the world. And so, we are at a crossroad. There's going to be a revolution in education. And so for us as institutions of higher learning, we need to begin understanding how do we now use all of these facilities to be able to help everybody to be able to get get what they want without violating the rights of others.
Yes.
And right now, I have known people who have not gone to school there, and now they come and say, oh, by the way, can you as an institution help us to have the skills, for example, in accounting? Somebody has a business, but he doesn't know how to do all. So we create short courses, and these people get exposed to the things that they will need to run their business. So there's going to be collaboration between the institution, the formal institutions, and the marketplace, so that together the education can go on, even without the formal education, because the guy can Google everything that is taught at the university and he will have it. And yet he will be able to run his business.
Wow.
So this is where we have to look at. Education is going to change in the next 30 years. It's going to be different. And right now, we have to position ourselves in such a way that we do things right. But finally, this is where the idea of mentorship is critical.
Okay. Wow.
So that you can actually mentor people without necessarily them going through formal school. But they can be able to see and interact with you, and you can be able to give them the same education, so to say, as they would get in a formal setting. And that's why mentorship programs like this are very critical for such people.
Sure. Thank you for that. We are taking two questions. One from this side, one from this side. Our hostess and host, I hope are ready. Two questions only, one from this side, another one from this side.
Many times, mentorship can collapse. It can collapse from either side. From the mentee side and from the mentor side.
Yes.
As long as trust has not been built, and there is no sense of humility, there is no sense of empathy that actually binds the two or three together. I want to believe that you need to espouse certain attributes as a mentor. That you need to put yourself as a success story.
Yes.
That people look at you and believe that they can walk this journey.
Yes.
I just have one experience. At the time I left university, was a time actually Ugandan teachers were not confident to be teachers.
Yes.
And most of them went to either Kenya, Lesotho, South Africa. But myself, with a couple of us, just took a decision that we shall not leave this country.
Okay.
And we stayed around, and I have taught all through from the time I started teaching. Now, my colleagues who left this country went, and at that time were obtaining a good dollar.
Yes.
Returned to find me seated coordinating all education services. And the question was, how did you get there? I said, I just did the same course that you did. And you remember we graduated on the same day. The difference was we took different decisions. Now that is a critical thing in life. Decision making is critical.
Yes.
In the event that you take a wrong decision, in the event that your focus is so short term rather than the long term, you're likely to suffer the gravity of this danger.
Wow, this is amazing. Maybe there's no question, but okay, if there's question, it will be done so quickly. So quickly. We need as many workers as possible. There are two questions here. I want to start one. Can I please express or ask myself a question by the way of speaking, not in writing? Because of time, it's not allowed. Because of time, it's not allowed. Somebody wanted to express. Because of time. Thank you very much for educationists. In Uganda, the education program does not allow teachers to have any other activity to earn a living. How can teachers get on doing any other activity apart from teaching without time? Is it true?
I pray that question came through from a visitor from Kenya. But
I read correctly.
I know you're right. What you read was to take it quite quickly. First, to say that's not true.
Yes.
But secondly, to state that in a day we have 24 hours, not 8.
Yes.
But besides that, teachers are supposed to be leaders, and they're supposed to be innovators. To lead is to inspire others to do what you have set as a goal. And to lead doesn't mean that you have to practically go to the battlefront. To lead is to design inspirational strategies for that success,
Yes.
for that victory. Quite a number of teachers, and teachers, if you're here, know that you can do something else other than teaching, but you will remain teaching successfully and be one of the best and celebrated teachers.
Our question comes to you here. Let's clap for him first. Where is the person that wanted to express yourself? You'll have a microphone. Just quickly and be brief. Don't preach to us. Just speak precisely and on the point. And as the team prepares you, I want to. Are you giving me or are you making me to bed? Just to ask.
I wanted to make 3 substantive issues there.
Yes, yes.
The first one is that most of our teachers actually work in the rural areas. In the rural areas...
The rural of Mbale city?
No, Mbale.
Okay.
We're talking of Mbale.
From this region?
Yes. In these rural areas, we have land available for selling.
Okay.
The only assured person of a steady salary every month is a teacher. That one I guarantee. But another facility that comes through is that the teacher has a security which is soft in acquiring collateral. So that means you can buy land wherever you're teaching. The quick enterprise for that is tree planting.
Yes.
You'll be doing 2 things. Working on the environment, but at the same time, actually investing for the future. Having trees for yourself as an enterprise secures your land, gives you the old product, but works on the environment. 3 things in a row. There are enterprises at school while you're teaching. I'll use the simplest example. I often interact with my colleagues, the junior staff. Every child needs to eat a pancake.
Yes.
A pancake is a common donut.
Yes, yes.
Baked around.
Yes.
Which costs the least, I think, if for a case could be 200 shillings or 500. You don't need to be hawking the pancakes. You only need to teach from 8:30 to 10. And between 10 to 10:30, you're selling the pancakes at school while you're waiting for the next lesson. And you're sure of an income. That's an enterprise.
Wow.
Before you know it, you have a school canteen. In the school canteen, it will not be you who will attend, but you will have employed someone.
That you will have taken a job opportunity.
Entrepreneurship and job creation.
Yes. Instead of looking at the government.
That is extra business.
I don't like this thing where people are looking at the government to provide jobs.
I wouldn't want to think that that's the way to go.
Thank you so much. Where is the person who was treated to ask the question? Is it our ED? Okay. Or the member of parliament. Let's give her an opportunity. Let's clap for her.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. for giving me this opportunity.
Yes.
Our education officer explained well the public and private schools. But I also want to say that public schools, surely, there is no public school with a non-trained teacher. Whereas many private schools don't have trained teachers. That's one big difference.
Private schools?
Yes.
Don't have trained teachers?
Many of them don't have trained teachers. And I'm saying this with authority. Doctor, for your information, I'm the chairperson Committee on Education and Sports, Parliament of Uganda.
And why do you allow? Oh my God,
and
go ahead.
This came up as a result of government closing down private schools, which they found
Yes.
are not suitable. And Parliament authorized me to go and find out why they have closed. Was it really called for or not? And in my research, I found that I visited
Yes.
had no trained teachers. And I'm speaking this because I did the research and I found that many schools only were in, somebody builds a house which was supposed to be for accommodation but turns it into a school and petitions it, and then eventually gets a few dropouts, senior 3, senior 4, even senior 1. There is a school which I found the headmaster was a senior 1 dropout, and then the teacher was a P7 dropout. That was in Kaberamaido. The school is called Amutabel. And they only teach 2 subjects, English and math. Just because they say Jesus did not go to school. That was the mentality. And that school was closed down, but people rose up in arms to say, why did government close our schools? I would like to find out from my education officer, are there such schools in Mbale district? And if they are there, have you closed them? And if you haven't closed them, government gave a directive that they should be closed. Why aren't they closed?
Thank you for that. That is a good and a great concern. But also we as the top CEO show, we avoid to turn into the show into political show. Is that all right? But the question that our member of parliament has, it is as critical as yesterday. That is terrible, that is horrible, and you can help us.
And maybe one thing that I want to say is that those other business, and I call them maybe business entities, some private schools, there could be others which are really genuine, they have some qualified teachers, but these ones do not have qualified teachers because they do not want to pay full pay to the teachers who teach. They give them whatever they have so that they continue teaching them only to pass students to pass exams, but they don't give them all the best. By the way, they don't even have the right curriculum. Well, in those other areas, I did not visit Mbale as such, so that's why I wanted to find out from my education officer. But I found out in many other districts. I was in Jinja, I was in Kariro, I was in Nkumi, I was in Kaberamaido, Bulabuli, and many others, even in Western Uganda. But this is very crucial. So sometimes our parents will think that the best schools are private schools, yet what is given is not for an all-round person to come up to have a living, like the doctor has expressed it, as education. So in case there are such things, I am only putting to my education officer a question that he has to find out such things. In case they are there, we get them out of our district, in case they are there. Because I found them in other districts. This is just an eye-opener.
And I think not just getting them out of the district or the country, they should be gotten out of the world to hell.
Yeah, doctor, I found out one school where...
Because...
I think the owner of the school...
Because why should we have... The Bible says very clear, Isaiah 4:6, my people perish for lack of what?
Knowledge.
So those schools, they are helping the devil. Because if you wanted to give people the right, and the Reverend will agree with me, if you wanted to give people right education, you have to give the right curriculum. And as I said in my speech on why mentorship, there's something I say that business people and entrepreneurs, I said government doesn't give jobs, but business people give jobs. And the government institution regulates those job opportunities so that employees do not manipulate who? The employers don't manipulate employees. So maybe just in 30 seconds, because our time is out.
For Mbale district, as the case is, and probably she knows it better, we suffer from excess qualified staff. The idea is that private schools coming up actually underpay the qualified staff in Mbale district, to be very specific.
Wow.
But I agree with her. If you moved to regions of Karamoja, the regions of Northeast generally, it is hard to find 10 people in a whole county who have gone to school. And yet those people are also entitled to education. And as a result, the government had designed certain affirmative actions for purposes of people accessing that inspiration to get education. And that's why if you went to those places like the research they carried out established, you'll find that a graduate of S1 is actually teaching a senior one. Oh. But it is not that the qualified people are not there. It is because conditions their side can't attract the qualified people to go there.
Okay.
So we find them clogged around here in the few schools to the extent that they are paid up to 70,000 shillings. Sometimes 100,000, and 100,000 is just 30 shillings of Kenya calories for your information.
Wow.
300 shillings. 300 shillings.
A month?
A month.
A month?
Yes. And that's how critical it is for the part we are in. So, directly to answer, Honorable, for us in Mbale, that's not there. For our government institutions, we are one of the districts with 100%.